On episode 29 of the Holochronicles Podcast, Josh has an awesome Easter egg to share. We talk about a Hallmark Christmas ornament collection, and our buddy old pal Trevor joins us for a little Mandalorian sizzle. Yeah! The force is strong with this podcast. Pass on what you're about to learn. Welcome to the Holochronicles Podcast. I am Andy.
Hey, I'm Josh.
And with us today, back from a little hiatus.
Yep.
OG.
Just got out of prison.
OG.
Wait a minute.
Good to be back.
I thought you were a cop.
Yeah.
I guess cops go to jail too.
Yeah, no, investigations.
He's a
investigations.
damn stormtrooper is what he is.
Allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly, Your Honor.
Allegedly. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Trevor's back.
Yeah, the 5-0 back in action. Hey, I got to tell you, I'm 2 White Claws in and I'm feeling pretty good.
What? Really? How are those muscles aren't cramping?
No cramps. Feeling good so far. Don't jinx me.
Well, nice.
There's been a few things that have gone down since we last potted. Now, we have been on...
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
However,
comma.
We've
been on... we were lucky to be guests.
Like privileged.
Yeah, privileged to be on the Wookiee Radio podcast. And if you've never listened to those guys, they have an awesome introduction.
Yeah, check them out.
It's Chewie singing a song. Like...
No, that's some amazing, editing or something going on there. It's fantastic.
Like, I would sound like I'm gargling trying to do that.
Yeah, I have no Chewie in me.
But
as many impersonations or impressions as we attempt.
Yes.
The Wookiee is not among them. I mean, that's
Nailed
bad.
it.
That's bad.
No, that was it.
Trevor, would you like to?
Yeah, no, that was worse.
That was like a burp. Not quite like I planned.
What?
What is that? That's cheating.
You're
That's
faking. Cheating. That's a cheat. I agree with that. All right.
No,
but anyway, Wookiee Radio was a great time.
Yeah, they had us on and we appreciated sharing an hour with them.
Yeah.
Talking about collecting and toys and all the things that kind of pull us back to when we were kids and make us feel like kids again.
And they were awesome kids.
They were awesome kids. And
for a while. It was great.
Yeah. When Josh, you brought this up and I'm so glad that you did too, because it was spot on. When we asked them, because we ended up asking a few questions to the Smugglers 3, as they like to call themselves. What were some of the, what are their favorite pieces in their collections? Because they all have different kinds of collections. And even though it's an audio podcast, we were Skyping, and so we could see them. They lit up like Christmas trees, talking about their favorite toys. And
no, they got super animated, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
And I think
we can relate. And that's the thing. We can relate because there's some things that we have that we get pretty jazzed about. And
so you guys said kids. So these guys are...
No, they're full-grown men like us.
They're just actually
like
kids?
All older than... Three of them.
All older than us?
Yeah, all three of them are older.
We're super old, dude.
That's hard to be. That's hard to
We'll just say 40-year-old white guys. That's what
sounds
we
about
were.
right.
So maybe some dad jokes.
One at least was in there. Probably 10.
Anyway, It was a good time. Since we have last potted, there's been a few things come out. Maybe you've heard of Disney Plus. Trevor, have you heard?
You haven't potted since Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yes, I have heard. I have heard.
Been a while.
It's been like 2.5 weeks.
People have been jonesing.
Yeah. So that's been going on, but I would be remiss to go any further without doing something that we always like to do and talk about.
Show me your collection.
Now, we haven't had an official feature in a while, in a couple of Saturdays.
We haven't, which is, I guess I think we've been a little busy, which is fine.
We have. It is that time of year where things do kind of ramp up a little bit family wise, at least for us, they do. But recently, as a few days ago of the recording of this podcast, Fanboy, who is also known at RHANEY 404040. So at
Easy handle to remember.
at
You're fine.
RHaney 404040, who goes by Fanboy. He posted a picture of 181 Hallmark Christmas ornaments, Star Wars related. And he said, do I have a problem or is this cool?
So cool.
It's totally cool.
What did I text you? What did I text you?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's what you texted.
I said, holy crap. I think I want a Star Wars Christmas tree.
Oh no.
It looks so good. It looks so good. I mean, and they were just in boxes. They weren't even on treed up yet.
They
right?
weren't. They were not.
Wow.
This was pre-tree,
But here's what I love.
pre-hung.
All right. All right. Here's what I love. I love presentation. All right. And for him to have set up a table and presented all of these ornaments before he puts them on his tree, for me, that's like, it's so good. It is so good.
Nice.
Because
It is.
a little bit of anticipation, because what do we enjoy? We like Christmas is all about anticipation.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but you are not having as much fun on Christmas morning as you were the 4 weeks leading up to it.
Which is very tough for Andy. He gives
very
presents
tough.
way
Andy
early.
just destroys anticipation
It's very tough.
with too much participation. But we're
It's true. I
little admission
confessional
going on here.
confession right now. I gave Josh and Trevor and our buddy Sheldon their Christmas presents all in the last week. So
Week is the key word.
Week.
this is, and I get
Andy's excitement is as fun, right? Like him being excited is cool.
The thing about Andy is he lives in a constant state of anticipation.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter.
Carry on.
maybe. And here's the really funny thing. Maybe it's ironic. I don't know. But I get annoyed at my wife for putting up Christmas ornaments before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Christmas decorations.
Right.
Yep.
And yet
You have delivered 3
Christmas presents
early and forced us to view them.
Yeah.
Although you stood strong.
Well,
I did on
sort
one.
of.
Sort of.
I didn't exactly wrap them,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that
he
was-
couldn't help but
Like a kind of
see.
view inside of them.
Yeah. Anyway,
We'll show you. I'll tell you.
I don't know.
after
I don't know how
Christmas.
we got down on this rabbit trail, but we need to
Carry on.
get off it. Anyway, Fanboy R. Haney 404040 had an excellent Hallmark Star Wars Christmas ornament collection.
Fantastic.
Say that 3 times real fast. And then what I really appreciated about it is because not only were there all these ornaments on a table, but kind of on the wall above it, there were some homemade figure display cases that he had. And there was a little conversation, in the responses that got going about, hey, those are cool. Yeah, I made them and this and that. And then our longtime follower now, Woody, Alaskan Woody, he posts,
Good day, mate. Sorry.
that's so lame. At Woody's Alaskan. So Woody, he posted too. He's got a bunch of Star Wars ornaments as well.
I know, like it was like an ornament off. It was awesome.
That's maybe the first time I've ever heard that, an ornament off.
I feel like that's the first time.
But it was incredibly festive, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, and that's when
it's inspiring.
I text you and said, "Holy crap! I think I want a Star Wars Christmas tree."
Now,
so thanks a lot, Woody.
So
and
if-
freaking good day, mate.
Are you gonna do it though?
If you do it,
You're damn
Josh,
right.
Oh yeah.
if you do it, I know you've got a Death Star tree topper.
I
Because
do.
That's freaking cool.
So I already have a Christmas tree that involves some Star Wars, but also we have a lot of tradition in our tree and all that. crap. But
a lot of kid
lot of
crafting,
yeah, a
and
lot of
school pictures and an ornament.
Yeah. Oh,
A lot of popsicle stick reindeer.
tons of terrible ornaments. You're correct.
Yes, that are 40 years old.
Sure. My kids are not 40, but yes,
But going back to your youth, maybe, do you have some from when you were?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're right.
So
damn it.
It's not, we don't
See?
have dissimilar trees here.
We don't. We have terrible trees.
But here's what if you do a Star Wars Christmas tree, Josh, I have some ornaments for you.
oh, thank God.
Yes.
No, I'm about to go
180 of
ham
them.
on Hallmark Star Wars. It's going to go crazy. That might be my next.
So if you're listening out there, this is what Josh is saying. If you have some Star Wars ornaments that you want to get rid of,
You want to unload, they need to be functional.
and whole, they can't be busted.
Yeah, we don't want any blown up
No.
Death Stars here,
No.
people.
All right. Anyway, thank you, R. Haney 404040 and Woody for sharing your ornament collections out. Those are new. I had not seen an ornament collection.
Me neither.
Star Wars themed anyway.
Well, of course you haven't, because it's very seasonal, right? So
Yeah, and actually, this will be the first Christmas that Holochronicles has been around. How sweet!
Oh, he's so giddy.
I know. And more
It's a big
anticipation.
deal. That's a big, almost a full year, guys.
It's
great.
Good job.
Almost a full year.
It's a
guys
Holochronicles
are-
Christmas.
It's a Holochronicles
Christmas.
Christmas.
Continue.
Hey, I think I just
Keep going. Don't stop.
I just got a song idea.
Babies.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You guys are going to be
Yes.
potting on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we?
I mean,
clearly.
that's where we go the extra mile for the listener.
Yeah. It's
Everyone
all-
else is with their
all about
families doing
fans.
cool and fun stuff. What are we doing? We're podding for the people. Well, we'll see if we actually do that. Josh, I believe you are up.
That's so fun.
Easter eggs.
That's you.
Yes. That's you, Josh.
I have a good Easter egg this
remember
time.
which one's
Yeah, it was a fun one.
You
I really
texted
liked
this
it.
to me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dude, you have to share this because it was really, really cool.
It's one of those, and actually, I think we had a conversation about kind of the Hollywood prop sharing and all that stuff. And so maybe it wasn't on the pod; it was maybe outside of it. But anyway, so here's my Easter egg. In Star Wars, Obi-Wan, old Ben,
Yes.
Kenobi, takes the lightsaber, Luke's father's lightsaber, out of a chest.
Yes.
He opens it. You remember? We all remember
Yeah,
that.
right,
They're in
right.
Obi-Wan's
In A
hut
New
after
Hope, yep.
after he saves them from the sand people. Luke's there, and he opens his chest, and you don't ever notice the chest, right? Because who cares? And then he pulls out
Right.
the
That's not the
lightsaber.
focal point of
Not
the
at
scene.
all. Not at all. But it is a part of the scene, and every part of Star Wars has been analyzed. So
Ad nauseum.
ad nauseum. So he gives the lightsaber, etc., and you move on. That chest is actually the same chest
Stop.
which was used in Superman for the kryptonite that was stored by Lex Luthor when he lured Superman down to his lair and then flipped the chest open, and that's when Superman breaks down and
And then
Can't
they
fight
throw it
back.
around his neck, right?
yeah, they put it around his neck, they
And
throw him in the
falls in the
water,
pool, yeah.
they do all that stuff, and Superman is struggling. It's the first time ever that you had seen, on film, Superman vulnerable. Well, that's probably
Meaning
not true.
the actual prop was
The same prop
chest.
was used in
gosh.
both movies. Now it was reconfigured. It was reconfigured for
That's
each
pretty
movie,
epic.
meaning they polished it up.
Yeah,
It was like
right.
an Indian, script polished up, a copper, a pounded. What do they call it? Hammered copper. It was very nice. That actually sold at an auction recently for $110,000. That chest.
Oh my god.
Well, think about it. It's crossing a couple universes there, right? We're crossing
That's
the Star
cool,
Wars
though.
into DC. So very cool.
Cool.
And to see those side by side. So look that up. Look up Alec Guinness opening the chest, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then look up Lex Luthor. God, I blanked on his name.
Gene Hackman.
Gene. Here's my problem. I had Gene Wilder in my head, which is also very cool, but Gene
Drastically
Hackman
different.
and Christopher Reeves as Superman. Very cool.
Cool, man. That's cool.
That's cool. There's my Easter egg. There
That's
you go.
a great Easter
That's
egg, Josh. Thank you for sharing.
So go check that out.
One thing that we like to discuss on this podcast is we just kind of update each other. Now, this is the first time we've been together as a group of three in quite a while. So let's just go around the horn real quick. What have you gotten lately for your collection? Josh?
I'm starting with Trevor.
Trevor.
The newest thing I've got, I'm still going for the last 17, still fighting for those. And then you helped me kind of dig into the Black series a little bit, which I don't know how I feel about yet, except for I really love them.
Yes.
But
They're worthy of love.
I got you helped me work towards the original, the orange
Line.
Yeah. And that found a new spot in a very prominent place in my theater room. So that was good. I didn't want to like them, but unfortunately I like them and I love them.
Yeah. There are two kinds of people in this world. Those that love the Black Series and those that don't.
What are you?
No. You said that wrong. Those that love the Black Series and those that choose to not own the Black Series.
There you
That's
go.
it.
That's a better way to put it.
Yeah. I'm choosing not to. I do have a few. I
You
probably
got 1,000 Funkos now, but
not quite 1,000.
you've got a good collection of funk.
But some might call me a renegade of funk. I don't know.
I would.
That's excellent, Trevor. I'm very happy for you.
Yep,
And I'm glad you have them. Because then when I go over, I can look at them. That will satiate my Black Series appetite.
Yeah.
Come over anytime and just stare at them.
What I do at Josh's house too.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
he's got a ton of them too.
Well, I'll be next here. I hate to be the copycat, but mine is also a Black Series. And it actually happened tonight. Another delivery from Andy.
Oh, see, he's setting us all up.
Although we talked about it, 2 days ago?
2 days ago. Well, it was Saturday and today is Tuesday. So it was 3 days ago.
Sure. Football, whatever. So 3 days ago, Andy sent me a visual text, which is a image sent through. I said
That sounded weird.
visual text is the stupidest thing I've ever said.
From now on, we're going to call every picture a visual text.
No, that's what it was.
And it was.
And it was Phasma after Finn had hit her with the vibro blade and she had the slice down her face. And I was like, buy that. And then he had already moved on because I got my text late. I responded late. But then he went back. This is collectors helping collectors here.
This is Andy in a nutshell.
And he got me a hell of a deal on it. $12.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
Yeah, that's
or $11.99.
There's one I know you didn't have. So
it's fantastic. And for some reason, I really like that figure.
My son loves it too.
We will put it on Twitter. We'll put it up on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's not just Phasma. Phasma's kind of a cool character in and of herself.
Sure.
But this one's a little, you
got the eye peeking through the hole sliced in her helmet, which was what happened in Rise, or not Rise. Geez. Last Jedi. And it was cool. You know, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of that scene, I really liked that Black Series character.
Cool.
What'd you get, Andy?
Again, I'm glad you got that. I feel really nice this year.
You feel very nice. It's been a hell of a Christmas for me
so I can come
far.
and watch them and look at them at your houses. By the way, Josh, you have quite a pyramid of Black Series and Funkos and stuff that you need to do something with, because I feel like when we leave tonight, Trevor and I can walk by and grab like 2 things off of that table, and you'd never know.
No, I'd have no clue.
So tighten it up.
Are you guys admitting to being huge thieves? Or what?
But
Talk to my attorney.
If allegedly. No, I have no recollection, Your Honor. Anyway, I have gotten the occasional Funko here and there in the last few weeks, and that just, I feel like that's going to be something that I could say at any point over the next year. I got a Funko, last week, or I got a Funko this week, or whatever. So when you can find them on eBay for like $5, it's like hard not to click, right? Anyway, but I will tell you that I did today trade in some Legos.
Oh, you're a good trader.
Some smaller Legos. Went down to my Lego shop store guy. Traded in some smaller Legos. Got a little store credit. And I have not yet, but I will be purchasing the Lego Malevolence.
Oh my.
Do you know what the Malevolence is?
I have no idea. What is it?
Is that a Disney movie starring Angelina Jolie?
That's what I thought of. Malfeasance?
Malfeasance.
Malevolence.
Snuffleupagus.
Malfeasance. This is a totally different thing, but yeah.
I'm now I can't say it right because knuckleheads. I got that word in my head. The Malevolence is the separatist ship that General Grievous.
Oh, nice.
It's a bigger, because I told Josh this. I don't think I told you, but I'm moving away from the smaller Lego sets and ships for bigger.
Yeah.
And UCS if I can, but some of the bigger ones like the Republic cruisers and the dropship one day will be mine. But the Malevolence I have to really think about.
Totally malfeasance.
Yeah. Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Yes. And that's not the White Claw, guys.
Nice.
That's you're legitimately tripping me up. So that's what I'm going to get. I'm does that count?
Totally.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You can go for a going.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
You can go for a maybe.
I'm putting down money towards
There you go.
it.
So we asked the listeners,
The story of
what did you get this week? I say post it up on the twits. Like, what did you get this week? We should do like a hashtag.
tag us
And hashtag like
hashtag mail day.
Mail day. Yeah.
Yep. We do that from time to time. Hashtag mail day. Include us in your mention. And one thing I am appreciating more is, as you know, we're getting closer to 800 followers now. I mean, shout out to the BMB there. But I appreciate how often we're getting included in text messages and we're getting tagged in things. And you know, I know there are some people that are like you just look at your phone like, holy crap. We just got 20 new messages.
That's kind of me. Yeah.
And it's like, but they want us to see it. And that's cool.
I love it.
And they want us to show us the stuff and deep down, I want to see it too. So keep doing it.
Nice.
Yeah. Keep tagging us some stuff. Keep sharing with us. Of course we'll respond because we got nothing better to do. And what you guys are showing us has been pretty cool lately. So I really, really, truly appreciate that. Shout out to the BMB. Guys, our topic of discussion tonight.
Yes, finally.
Oh, man.
What you've all been waiting for.
Yeah, there have been 3 episodes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, heavy spoilers if you
if you don't like it, go away.
Go ahead and push pause right now and catch us when you've caught up. But there have been 3 episodes of The Mandalorian that have come out in the last 2.5 weeks, and we've watched all 3 more than one time. I think it's pretty safe to say.
Yep.
Yes.
We've watched them a few times, and it is it's great. I think that's probably an understatement.
It is.
It's a great show. Now, do you want to talk Disney Plus first? You just want to go straight to Mandalorian?
Go ahead, whatever you want.
Because I want to say something. I got the $12.99 package where you get Hulu and ESPN along with Disney Plus. Right? It's a reasonable deal for those 3 things. What I'm finding out is that you don't get any of the live television shows with Hulu. So you don't get the live sports. You don't get the live sports. Like I couldn't watch any of the football games because they were live. And so I was a little bummed about that. But for $45 a month for Hulu, you can get those things. And that's my own fault for not researching it. But I did want to get the Hulu stuff because of the sports. Because I recently dropped my Dish program. So,
shoot. Hulu does have some good stuff on it, but
it does. I'm not
after the fact.
I'm not bummed about the live sport thing. I am a little bit, but only during football season. The rest of the stuff I don't need to watch. But and then the ESPN stuff too. The live shows, they won't let you watch those.
It's not live for ESPN.
No.
What's the point?
So there's a lot of like features, like ESPN features that you can watch those.
The 30.
The Peyton's Place.
Now, here's what I'll say.
Those are kind of fun. But
what I'll say about that is that just stay tuned. You know, they're establishing their platform. I saw a funny post, that was like screenshot and sent from Twitter, which was a guy saying like all these streaming services getting together pretty soon. They'll reinvent cable, which
just exactly what they're doing.
Oh, totally. You'll be paying, $120 a month to have all these streaming services.
All the things that you were getting with
basically it was cable
before. Yeah,
it's cable.
Yep. All you'll be doing is buying internet from them now.
Now, at least you have the choice and the a la carte and all that. But yeah.
But I have not been disappointed in the Disney Plus side of it.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Even if I just think $12.99 a month for the Disney Plus, and I don't even bother with the other two, I still think that's pretty good. All the old movies are there, right? Everything from when we were kids is there. Mandalorian's great. All the Star Wars content's great. I just started watching Rebels with my son who hasn't seen Rebels.
Good.
And that cartoon is so good.
Oh, it's the best.
It's so fantastic. Good. I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers.
No, none here. Other than that, it's great. You'll enjoy it all the way through.
I had no access, so I was waiting for Disney Plus, and they delivered.
Nice.
I guess I'm through season 2 now, something like that.
And then the Clone Wars, I watched a couple of those just on my own, just for fun because they were quick.
Yep,
it's a little harder to watch. It's good, but it's not as easy as the Rebels.
Yeah,
that's my view.
I actually agree with that.
That's my view.
Yeah.
The Rebels are easier to watch. They're more entertaining, but that's just me.
Okay. That's not an opinion. You can.
As far as
so moving on, our main topic,
Mandalorian.
Here we go.
All right,
3 episodes. Here's where I want to go with this. I'm gonna start by positing a concern I have. All right.
Uh-oh.
Now, I love the 3 episodes so far. I'm hooked. My son's hooked. Everybody that I've talked to that's watched it is hooked.
Yeah.
Right. We can't wait to see the next one. And again, this is why you release one a week. So
anticipation.
You
learn about this.
But I love it.
Yeah. It's out there. It's in, one thing that people learned from Netflix is that if you release the whole season in a day, it gets talked about for a few days and then everybody binges it and it's done. But releasing one a week, it keeps people talking about it. It's still out there. It keeps it fresh and relevant. And Disney makes more money off of it, I would think.
Well,
they're
more
doing
time.
this on. Go ahead.
Yeah, more time for the word of mouth to spread. That's what HBO actually did very well with Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is not a show that anyone would watch, but because of the word of the mouth from season 1, it spread to, by anyone, I mean anyone that doesn't read sci-fi or fantasy. They don't care, but it spread to like massive. Like my wife was, let's watch Game of Thrones. She does not read.
She's not down with that.
Oh no, not at all. And to be honest, I use that as my excuse of like, watch The Mandalorian. Trust me.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
So
shows.
Adults are enjoying it. Kids are enjoying it. Everybody sitting at this table right here is enjoying it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Here's my concern. Okay.
All right.
In the first episode, we get an awesome ending scene shootout with IG-11, right?
Yep.
And then he's done. He's
Very Game of Thronesy. Yes.
Well, he's just in one episode.
Is he though?
Well, as far as we know, he is. So far, he's just in one.
As far as we know.
I believe he's only going to be in the one.
Let's go green light here and just let him talk. There's no bad concepts. And then I will respond because I want to respond exactly how you did.
Oh,
But
sorry. Go ahead.
Second episode, Nick Nolte's cool.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know how you say it, but
Whatever at this point.
the little Ugnaught, all right, has a great interaction with him. We get the I have spoken, right? We get a great line from him. And then he's only in the second episode. The third episode, we get the group of Mandalorians and specifically the heavy Mandalorian, heavy armor, heavy machine gun, who is voiced by Jon Favreau. And then he leaves off planet. So I'm each episode we're getting these very cool characters for an episode, and then we're walking away from them. The only characters that have been in all 3 have been Mandalorian, the little green guy.
Who's that?
Or a gal. I guess supposed to be a gal. And then Carl Weathers, right? He's been in all 3, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still and the way he kind of ducked out at the end of the third episode makes me think
coming back.
that he's still going to be around.
He survived a blaster shot. That guy's coming back. That was all. Oh God, spoiler. But yeah,
no, we're definitely into spoilers, but my concern is that we're going to get all these great characters, but we're only going to see them for a minute. They're just going to be an episode long, and that's my concern for Cara Dune. Right, we haven't seen her yet, but we know we will. My concern is like these all could be comeback, callback kind of characters, but are we going to get them? That's my concern.
Let me make you feel better.
Okay,
so because I thought about this.
We're 3 episodes into an 8 episode season?
Sure, whatever.
I think there's 8 episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
So
and we already know that they bought through 3 seasons, right?
Is it 3?
Yes.
I thought it was
3.
definitely 2.
It's 3.
Okay.
It's 3.
No, it's 3.
Okay.
So let me make you feel better.
Okay.
Because I thought about The Mandalorian in retrospect as I naively go in and watch it. And then when you watch it again, you see that all these clues kind of hit you and you're like, oh geez, I should have seen that coming. I can't think of the one specifically, but I thought about it today. But anyway, I'll continue my point.
Do you think we'll see Werner Herzog again?
I think that yes, for sure. No, he is a ongoing character in this whole plot. As a matter of fact, he's such a good character that he is involved in the deeper scheme of things. And actually, you don't understand his scheme because his whole thing is like, kill it. I don't care. And
we got what we needed.
Yeah. No.
Dispose of it.
And you don't know why he's saying that because you think that from what you've viewed, this is a very powerful bounty in Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody with deep pockets is pulling some heavy strings.
Oh gosh. I can't. Anyway, I should have prepped a little better for what's the name of the medal that the bounty?
Oh, from the Imperial
unobtainium.
Yes.
Anyway, and I don't care about that. I mean, what I'm saying from a very base view, meaning I probably. Andy's trying so hard. Yeah. When you're trying to just watch it and God, we're going to get murdered for not knowing that. You should look it up. But let me go online. Let me go further here.
Tell me the first letter
and tell you. Let me tell you why you're going to feel better about the Nick Nolte character. The I have spoken, because they're not pulling any punches when it comes to setups. And Mandalorian, for no good reason, who obviously seems like a loner, says, "Do you want to join my crew?" Out of nowhere, when they've established in a very short period of time that he's a loner, like he's got a whole crew of Mandalorians that are walking around. What is it?
Is that it? Is it start with the B?
Beskar. Yeah, absolutely.
No,
absolutely. Yeah. Beskar medal.
There you go.
Anyway, the Beskar, I don't know what my point was there, but let me get to my point for God's sakes. Is that because they set up the whole "will you join my crew" with that character, and he said, "No, I have to protect the land." He's coming in. I think that's the Mandalorian's sidekick. I really do. At some point, and we might go 2 or 3 episodes before we see him.
You talking about Nick Nolte?
Nick Nolte's character. What's the name of that character?
Quill.
He says, "I must protect the land I have spoken." That's too good. And remember, they only filmed season 1. You might see Quill come back in season 2 because you get the fan interaction or enjoyment of that character. So I will say this. Here's my prediction. Wrong or right, I don't care.
Throw it out.
I'll throw some money on it. Nick Nolte or Quill's character will join the crew. He will say, I will leave my land I have spoken, and be part of his crew, because Mandalorian's going to come back and say, listen, this is what's going on, or whatever. So I think to ease your fears a little bit, Andy, of good characters coming and going.
Well, it's such a good problem to have, because you're creating characters that people want to see more of, right? They say less is more, and this is a perfect example why.
Totally. Herzog being one of them. Like, I want to see that guy act in every scene because he's fantastic.
And Carl Weathers, he's going to be back. But are we going to get the heavy armored? Are we going to get that squad of Mandalorians? Are they going to meet up again?
I think we set a precedent there.
I got a little bit of a theory with it. My thought is that I feel like they're teaching anticipation. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like they are building it up for anticipation because you've got
real good at that.
I think so, because look at the entire show. I feel like they are building it so that you have these people who are central in certain episodes, and then they may be distant in other episodes, but they're not gone. None of them are gone. They all have a imprint in our minds because they are so important in those episodes. I feel like every one of them will be back, and I'm with you. I wouldn't make that bet on you. I think he's coming back.
I just am bummed to think that we only get IG-11 for one episode.
So here's my theory on IG-11. IG-12, IG-13, IG-14. There's no reason for the programming of this droid to be any different. So I think as a funny joke, you're going to see IG-12 show up and he'll be like, I remember you from, it's my best New Zealand voice. I remember you from when we say Baby Yoda. Hey. And then, hey, mate.
Hey there.
Self-destruct initiated. Stop. Anyway.
Don't self-destruct.
Don't.
We're going to shoot our way out.
Knock it off.
Yep.
So anyway.
We should do a Mandalorian impersonation.
No, we should do a scene. We shouldn't? Different people.
So let's go back, though, because we have 3 episodes. So that's your over.
That's my biggest concern so far in something that I really have no complaints about.
So really quick, we're going to do this for all 3 episodes.
Okay.
Top scene. And if one guy pulls a scene out that you loved, you better pull another one. Top scene from each episode, starting with episode 1. Andy, go.
Oh, he's going to take it.
Well, of course, I'm going to take the shootout with IG-11, and that does not include what they find at the end of that.
After? Okay.
Yeah, the shootout was awesome.
The rotating
IG-11 was
now
messing people up.
CGI or no?
I think it's both because there is a physical IG-11. Well, and that was like one of the leaked very first things we saw. It was just a headshot,
him shooting behind him. Yeah.
Well, and then scenes too. But like on Instagram, on Favreau's Instagram, one of his first pictures from the Mandalorian was just like a bust picture of an IG-11. It was like IG-88's in it, and it was just behind a green screen.
The guy's a genius, by the way.
And
I think that's where we're going with this. By the way, it's 11 through 88 is going to be represented by the same voice. Guess whose voice we never heard in Empire?
Yeah, we never heard
IG-88. He became famous just because he was a bounty hunter next to Bosk. Is basically and Boba.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So I think
that'd be cool.
If they're smart, they use the same voice for each iteration.
Kind of like IG. How all the clones have
exactly
have the same face.
By the way, New Zealand accent.
Yeah, another.
Here he is. Spoiler. Same guy.
Okay, that'd be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yep. All right, so good scene. You like the scene with the shootout. I will agree and comment on that and go like, holy crap. Yep. The way they made the eyes rotate around, that seemed mechanical and not CGI to me. So I'm like, that's animation, right. Well, right there. No, not animation.
Animatronics.
Animatronics right there. That's so cool.
Well, that
makes it more real.
Yeah. And that could be a reason why each episode costs so much to make.
Oh, of course.
Because they're using physical
robotics and
props and set pieces as opposed to just, prequel in it.
Exactly. Don't prequel it.
Okay. Yeah. Trevor, go.
Was that yours or am I going? Okay. Mine has got to be the homage at the end with Yoda.
Baby
pointing
Yoda.
Pointing the finger and just how they did it.
You like
because
that.
It's ET-ish. It's take you back to that era.
I like that concept.
The whole idea of how they touched, and it was intimate sometimes in a way that's like, he's gonna like this guy. So I remember ending that and thinking, he's gonna say Baby Yoda. It's gonna happen, and that to me was like, okay, it's gonna be a good series. That moment, all the fighting and everything before that was fantastic. The buildup was great.
As heck.
But you don't even really get to see him. I mean, you do. I guess you see his face. But that moment of them touching fingers.
cloak down.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, we freaked
That
out.
moment.
We freaked out. So I agree. So I would
that
say,
was for me.
I would say you took my number one moment. I'm good with it. Remember I said,
Yeah, you can't have
to
it.
back down.
Can't have it.
But I agree with that moment when he peels, when Baby Yoda, for lack of a better term, what do you call him? Baby us?
No.
Unidentified species.
Bus. But we also, I think you did the floaty Yodi.
Floaty Yodi.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was
Floaty
good.
Yodi.
Floaty
That
Yodi.
comes in episode
Yep.
2 though. So Floaty Yodi for sure
Yeah.
is fantastic. Like I freaked out. Like I was like, I made Andy rewind it several times before I went home and watched it myself because I watched it with Andy that night. Yeah. So I agree. My favorite part of episode 1, outside of those parts, because I really like the shootout too, is I think, and I'll go a little more over shit, bearing over the top here, like bigger picture, is they did a excellent build of the character. And I have a point I want to make. I don't know if I want to do it on episode 1 here.
You want to do it on episode 2?
I want to do it on 3 and give you my concept here, which I think is a concept they're using. So there's a part in episode 1 that makes me very excited. And I think it's very tactical by Favreau, by whoever, I think it's very tactical, and it for especially you and I, Trevor, and for Andy, definitely hits a keen note. So actually I might leave mine
Until episode
I'm going to
3.
leave it till 3.
Do it.
All right.
Because I have one or two that won't relate.
Let me put a bow on episode 1 here before we go to episode 2.
And I have one more comment when you're done, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, then you do yours first.
Okay. So my quick comment is that I remember watching episode 1, first time watching it, and I talked to Josh, and I think Andy as well.
Yeah,
and
you
I was
text
like,
both of us.
I was like, I don't know. It felt slow. But my complaint is that it felt slow, but also exactly what you're saying. It was the build, and the build needed to happen. So that's my comment. It was after watching the second time, I was like, man, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So to put a bow on episode 1, the very first scene where he collects a bounty, and this was the big scene that we saw in the trailers where he shoots the doorway and slices him in half. Right. That was pretty awesome. That may have been my favorite scene had I not already seen it. Okay.
Right.
But
remember I said that to you.
I agree.
But that whole initial scene where he brings in the character that Horatio Sands plays, by the way,
awesome.
another great.
Great.
I love Horatio Sands.
Yep.
And then Brian Posehn makes a 1 minute entrance into the show and then gets
As the driver,
the taxi.
which is cool.
I love Brian Posehn.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Obviously.
So anyway, all these great characters, they're nailing
That's
it.
why you're concerned. You're like,
Yeah,
we're
'cause-
losing all these great characters.
Yeah, like we're not going to see Horatio again. We're not going to see
Posehn
again. Like those are great
What
guys.
character does Will Ferrell play?
He's coming. He's coming.
He could be.
He's one of the troopers.
And Tony Stark.
It's true.
Favreau is going to have a hard time not putting old Robert Downey in.
Anyway, the best line from episode 1.
Okay.
I can bring you in warm. Or I can bring you in cold.
Nice.
Like that statement right there tells you everything that he is willing to do.
Right.
To collect. Like,
I thought it was I have spoken, but
yeah,
that made me giggle every time.
Isn't that
I think
number
it caught
2?
on.
No. Is that 2?
That's
It's
number
in
2.
number 1, but it caught on.
No, it's in
number
1
2.
for sure.
I think
Because that's how he gets
solidified itself in number 2. Yeah, you're right.
To Floaty Yodi.
It's cool, but I think it made more sense in number 2.
It did. It's the I have spoken.
Yeah.
After he trains him how to ride the big mouth
Yep.
thing. Now, one thing.
That's right.
One thing. All right. Well, I'll save that for number 2. All right. On to number 2. Andy.
On
start
to number 2. I'm doing my favorite scene in that again.
Sure.
I think I started the last.
Let's
one.
Josh, you go first.
All right. I'll say this about. I'll say my critique of number 1 via number 2. Number 1, I have spoken. Nick Nolte, Quill, whatever, teaches him how to ride the big mouth things, whatever they're called, which I should know.
Have a funny name.
Yeah. Anyway, he rides them. And it's the only way to get to the place. And then in number 2, he walks out with Floaty Yodi. So apparently not the only way to get there or out of there, which I thought, well, like, all right, whatever. I don't care. it was the introduction to Quill's character to the Mandalorian.
Aren't you a Mandalorian?
Aren't you a Mandalorian? So it may have been more of teaching him how to use his skills.
Unlearn what.
And then I will actually do the opposite. The scene that gave me the most commentary, the most thought, was then the Mandalorian goes against yet another indigenous creature of the planet and gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah, he's not very tough.
By the Mudhorn.
By the Mudhorn. Without the help of Floaty, he doesn't survive that, admittedly, in episode 3. And I think it was my brother who said, man, the Mandalorian really sucks against animals.
Yeah.
So that scene to me, what I loved was that it started right out, and it was him and Floaty walking, and then I think you made that comment. There's a lot of walking, which I was like, I can't disagree with that. There's a ton of walking, but it's also like building the connection is building during if you and I go on a walk, we're bonding, right?
I feel like it every time.
Every time we walk, we have never walked. Oh no, we've walked a lot together, to be honest. But
golfers.
But that's what I thought. So there's my, I don't know, half-assed, good, best part, bad part. It was the horn, and of course Floaty holding the horn. What's it called?
Yeah,
Mudhorn up in the air. I mean, that's a lot of power right there.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of
very
power.
cool. But I Healy, I Savvy, I Nappy, or whatever it's called.
Can I go next?
Go ahead.
Okay, so to piggyback off of yours, the walking and stuff, the first time I watched it, especially number 1, but the walking, I realized after watching the first one twice and then the second one the first time, I realized that walking is telling so much in the background. Mm-hmm. You're not just watching a guy walk around, you're watching everything that's happening, and it's history. It's Star Wars. It's taking you back to when you were a kid. Plus, not only that, but the music that's involved with it
and the scenery,
totally different than
very good
totally
music.
Different, but in its own right, so unique. It's like taking you back to the originals with the orchestra and stuff, but it's like old Western with a guitar, and it's riveting. It catches me. I agree with that. I don't think I'm taking your same spot, but during the fight with what's his name? Mudhorn. With the Mudhorn, when Mando pushes the button on his wrist and pulls Floaty out of the way. That was cool. That moment was like, there's no way he's letting this guy go.
Exactly.
So that's moment
really
right there. Right. Just that, if I had to narrow it down to here it is, that moment was very telling. I got emotional. I teared up.
He did turn him in though. After that,
we'll get to that. We will get to that.
The sin.
He collected it. Yeah. Okay. My favorite scene. Oh, and to piggyback on your point there, the walking was telling a story. Like when they were going through that little canyon right before he battled the Trandoshan, the Bosk looking characters.
Yeah. Trandoshan.
You see Floaty peeking out at the lizards that are running by, and it looks like, oh, cute. He sees them, and it turns out that he's actually hungry. He's looking at him. It's like, and so my favorite scene of that whole thing was just the adorableness of him chasing the little froggy things back at.
You think he's playing
at Quill's? And then all of a sudden he just, Mandalorian says, "Hey, put that down," and then he's just like, and just like 2 swallows, it's gone. It's like, oh, so that's what those things eat.
But to your point, Trevor, that's another moment where his interactions was like, "Don't play with that." He's
dadding.
He's
dadding him.
Yeah, that's very apparent.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I love it.
So I like that.
Okay.
All right. Number 3.
Wow.
Let's go in reverse order. Andy, you get to start.
Okay.
Or no, Trevor gets to start.
I will start with the fact that to me, number 3, The Sin, was probably the best 40 minutes of Star Wars I have ever. Okay, go ahead.
I got to back up. When he is eviscerating Jawas.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, we're going back to 2.
No, yeah,
Just melting.
I would be remiss.
Yeah, we have to mention it.
At the joy that I was feeling.
Yeah.
At the disintegration of boom, and then they're just gone.
Yeah. Yes.
That cracked
But it also
me up.
established the power of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
No,
that
you're
weapon.
saying it.
The power of that weapon,
Yeah.
which then is demonstrated in 3.
Right.
But I do like, to your point, Andy, that the lack of
remorse,
compassion for a Jawa is very low. It's just like boom, boom. Like they're mad at you, and he's like, I did disintegrate a few of them.
Yeah.
And
you should have shot more.
And you can't see the memes, or you have to have seen the memes of Yoda just watching it, and then at the end it says murder. It's just
so good.
watching.
Boom.
It's good. It's
But
good.
I like that too. I mean, that
Yeah,
whole
I
scene,
love it.
that scene. I mean, obviously we're glazing over tons. We're not going scene by scene, but that scene was great too. I mean, he gets to the top, he gets shocked by, falls off the edge.
Yeah,
he
exact sound
loses
effect.
to Jawas.
He pushed a button to make that sound effect.
No.
No.
He
All right.
loses.
Anyway, I just had to interject
good-
there.
good
but-
call.
Right.
But
100%.
Good call.
episode 3, Trevor, keep going.
It's extremely difficult for me to pick a specific moment. That was what I was saying is that is probably the best 40 minutes of Star Wars
You did mention that in your text to us.
I could almost say ever. It was the character development between everybody that was in that scene or in that show was probably the best I've seen. Also, side note, did you know that's the first female to direct ever? It's the first female to direct a Star Wars ever. I don't know her name at the moment, but anyway, fantastic.
Deborah Chow.
Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, she did great.
Good job.
Great.
I think I don't. Somebody will correct me.
And what was the
I
part?
know, man.
Just name one part, because
So can
remember,
I
this is
name
one part only.
One part in 2, it's 2 separate sections, but it's one part. But the interaction with Baby Yoda with the knob at the first part, and then at the very end, and it's the finish. Yeah.
Yep.
Those together are some of the best cinematics and breakdown of character and connection between two a little baby.
In 40 minutes, by the way.
Oh my gosh. It was everything that could have been done in the prequels, all 3 of them together, and never happened. It was great. Anyway, that's mine.
So I'm going to start what I'm going to say by patting myself on the back first.
You should.
Little self-promotion here.
As much as everybody, including us, were freaking out on Floaty Yodi and how cool of a addition he is to the show, to the Star Wars universe, I held firm, and there are other people on Twitter that can attest to this. I held firm that Mando was going to turn him in. Like, yeah, he's adorable. Yes, they appear to have a little bit of a connection, and he's dadding him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's still going to turn him in. He's still going to get that Beskar steel because his priority, his / religion is warfare and is his armor, and that is his identity.
Yes.
And that's massive to him, massive to Mandalorians, much like, the 300. I'm reminded of the 300,
Sure.
the
kind of that
Spartans,
epic
The warrior
right? So,
religion almost.
but I held firm. He's going to turn him in for the dough, and he did. And I was glad that it's always nice when a little prediction comes true.
Sure.
Especially when people are so quick to predict about Star Wars.
Well, wasn't there mention in number 2 that he was going to turn him in? What's his name?
Carl?
Nolte.
Oh.
He says something at the end of, I think it's at the end of number 2. He says he will bring a very valuable reward or something to that effect, which made me think the same as well.
Yeah. So we had to see, and this was why I held firm with my prediction, because if we are to buy into the Mandalorian character, we have to be able to relate with him. He can be a badass gunslinger, bounty hunter, heartless, bringing in warm or bringing in cold makes no difference to me. That was established. And then we had to see a point where he changes his mind. He changes his heart.
Yeah.
And to do that, we kind of had to see him do what he always does, do it what he is
You're
trained
the
to do.
best. You're the best.
He is the best. He got the dough. He got the new outfit. I mean, he was looking sharp, and everybody in the cantina noticed right when he walked in, like, oh boy, he got a new suit.
Dressed up.
Emperor got a new suit.
He wasn't naked. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say Emperor's got a new groove.
New groove. Yeah. You're going to groove.
Different.
Keeping it Disney. Keeping it Disney.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we had to see him change his mind, change his heart, and be willing to sacrifice for him. Because if he would have just kept him, that would have been the easier thing to do. And we all would have been like, okay, cool. He's out to save him. But there was just for a moment, nope, he's turning him in for the dough. He has that really awkward exchange between Werner Herzog's character, where Herzog puts him in his place a little bit. Yeah. Like, hey, you don't ask questions. Like, super unprofessional.
This is not the code.
And the steel is not as rare to find as a Mandalorian. And don't forget that, last of your kind of dude. And with, by the way, 6 to 8 stormtroopers that look like they need a shower surrounding him with their blasters out, okay. So
hobo troopers.
That brings back though the old yellow troopers that we all have. They're now relevant.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah. Don't bleach them back out.
No, they're important now.
Bleach them out.
Leave them sun faded. But I'm glad that that's how it unfolded, not just for my own selfish reasons, but we did need to see how or why or when he changes his mind, he changes his heart. He realizes that the bounty isn't worth as much as the innocence of the bounty. So that was not necessarily a scene. That was kind of the episode that culminates him grabbing him, and then the shootout at the end.
White Claw.
and so that's the arc of that episode was what I super enjoyed. Josh?
All right.
I agree.
Here we go. Thank you. That's actually a good setup.
Very good.
Because my final thought actually encompasses 1 and 3. It doesn't happen in 2, but it's 1 and 3. When it happened again in 3, I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is genius. And what it is Mando's level up.
Oh, nice.
Remember when I said that in 1?
Yeah.
So what happens is in 1, he gets his first Beskar.
You got the shoulder piece.
And he gets a new pauldron, right?
Yeah.
It's a new shoulder piece. And it's this whole intimate interaction. He goes in, he kneels down, he gives the Beskar, the crafter, the smith, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a term for her yet. And she is a major character. Mm-hmm. The metal smith, or the whatever, says
Forger.
There you go. Says, this will provide many younglings with armor, or, whatever they
provide.
Need.
Yeah.
Provide. It'll provide. And he's like, thank you. And he levels up. And then in episode 3, he comes back, of course, with the huge bounty of Beskar metal, and he levels up again to this whole suit. And that brings me back as a gamer.
Yep.
As a gamer, think about that. How hard do you work to level up? Think about that, all you gamers. And I know you're a gamer if you're listening. Think about that. I mean, I've played World of Warcraft. I've played before that, I can't even remember. Jeez, it was so long ago. I'm so old now.
Zelda.
Zelda. It doesn't. Yeah, Zelda. Whatever. It does. Yeah. Destiny 1, Destiny 2. Yeah. What do? You go back to the armor smith, and they level you up. You've collected the bounty. You've collected the materials.
Well, even in 1080, you go back and get a new board. I mean.
There you go, with a different design.
This guy played the freaking snowboard game.
Burton, baby.
Yeah. But you level up. And so incorporating that concept into is so dramatic for somebody watching. Like me, I went oh my God, Mando's leveling up. Now I think we're going to see a level down, because you have to see Mando get weaker and work through that, adversity to be stronger. almost like hitting prestige in Call of Duty, right? Like
You start over.
you start over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prestige worldwide.
I mean, when he walked into the bar, into the cantina, in episode 3,
Shout out Dominic.
all leveled. Oh yeah. What's up, Gecko? Gecko's there. He walks in all jacked up. And like you said, he's going to be noticed because of this, and was, to the tune of, I don't know how many bounty hunters that had to be killed.
Dominic's still alive. He is
Unknown.
Unknown.
He is.
We never
He was
saw him die.
Yeah, he's alive.
Never saw him die, I think.
Coming back.
So, I like the level up aspect. I really like that. I think I want to put that out as a concept that is very, very simple,
I love
but
it.
also being entwined into this. Like, he's going to gear up every few episodes
Well, that's
drop down and then gear back up.
Yeah.
And then drop down. And she even says it, his armor smith, like, wow, this will provide even more. And then of course he's like, yes, the younglings.
Because he was one.
Yes, he was one. And then
Yeah.
Foundling.
foundling. Thank you. And then that's my last point, is that every time the hammer slams, we get a flashback. So we are definitely getting origin information about Mando with the hammer slamming as he levels up. It's leveling him up emotionally. It's leveling up. And I think and obviously they tried to make that point in episode 3. That is what made him decide to go back for Floaty, was the level up, the hammer slam, and him being trapped, and him being alone and trapped in a capsule of sorts. Remember, the doors closed, and he decided, I'm going back for Floaty. That's it. And then he goes back and he kicks ass. So that's why I saved a little bit from episode 3, but I said it to you. I said, oh my God, he's leveling up.
Yep.
That's, to me, it's Destiny 1 and 2. Like when you would go back and level up.
Well, and there's some Halo in there too.
Yeah.
where
Oh,
you
for
can
sure.
Yeah.
Go get
better gear.
History of
better
gaming.
gear.
and Black Ops. And,
So incorporating gaming, like, that's
Huge.
Huge market.
That's a big hook. It's a big
That's
hook.
a big, for a gamer like me, I latched right on. I'm like, oh my God, that's leveling
and you
up.
recognize it, like, oh my gosh.
So now I want to see him level up again, and level down, and level up, and level down, and level up.
what was the last line in episode 3?
Oh God, well, don't do that to me.
I gotta get me one of those.
Oh, give me one of those.
And that, to me,
That's the next level.
The
Next level.
the connector there is that salute.
Right.
Isn't that Iron Man?
Very, very Iron Man.
That's Iron Man salute. And he goes, I got to give me one of these, which was a great line. Is actually the line that made me go like, oh man, my family's going to watch this too. Because my wife loves a good superhero movie. And the salute and the good little bit of comedy. Oh, that was perfect.
My wife's watched
OG
every
Iron
one
Man.
with me so far.
Not yet. I have 2 and 3 to go through.
She doesn't love them, but she's watched them with me. I'm getting her there.
So to wrap this up, I've got 2 questions. Josh, I want you to answer this question for me.
Okay.
Within season 1, will the Mando have his mask off?
That was my next point. A very poignant point, because they made a really good point in episode 3 of saying, have you ever taken your mask off? And he said, no.
No. And has anyone ever taken it off of you?
No.
Never.
A love interest will take it off of him. Period.
This season, this year.
This season. That's what we're just going season 1. Does the helmet come off?
Yes.
Does Floaty
Finale.
use the Force to take his helmet off?
Perhaps. I won't go that deep, but I will say, I will go a shallow answer and say, yes, his helmet will get removed. And
by his own doing?
And I believe that he will do it for a love interest.
Ooh, nice.
Trevor, what do you think?
I would say the opposite. I would. And I like that theory.
So, no.
that theory, but I would say no. Yeah, I don't think it's coming off this year. I think that it would be, if anything, it's potentially something at the end, the very last episode. The last thing that happens is, he goes to take it off.
All right. Well, that's a bit of a loophole there. Like, if the reveal bleeds into episode 2, I feel like
his helmet will not be completely off until next year.
Well, all right, whatever. I guess I got to stick by my guns. What do you think, Andy? You're the
The tie break here. I'm gonna say. So this is. I'm going to say no, it does not come off in season 1, but it comes off in the first episode of season 2.
God dang it.
So you're with
this
me.
This is like freaking Price is Right.
No, yours
you
is
just
right.
went 1001.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
I know, and I won.
$1,000.
No, yours is
1001.
No, what's like a
too.
really big deal ends up getting blown up in the first episode of the next season.
Of course. Well,
it's predictable.
Yours is a great theory for season 2. But not
no, now I feel like I've lost.
No, I'm sorry. I changed the parameters of the question. I said season 1 is the helmet coming off. I'm saying no. After that, I think it is going to come off at some point.
Of course it's coming off.
But not in season 1.
That's my thought too.
Not in season 1. Trevor says not in season 1. You say
We might
I'm
be
saying
wrong.
I'm sticking by my
You got
guns.
to. Yeah, you already said it on radio.
okay.
On radio.
All right.
Next.
AM radio. Hey, Ronnie
What's going
Radio. That was
We all do our best radio voices at the same time. Welcome to the Holochronicles. Hey, by the way, where can you find us, Andy?
Hey. You can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Holochronicles. And that's it.
There you go.
That's all you need to know.
The A symbol. What is that? The at symbol?
Ampersand.
Ampersand? No,
Ampersand?
no.
That's not the
That's the end symbol. But yeah, the A with the little circle. Why are we doing this?
At Holochronicles.
Yeah.
That's where you can find us. Last question before we get to just a little bit of trivia, and we are out of here.
Fast
We are
trivia.
out of here.
Fast trivia.
But
we'll
around
You
the
want to
horn
stay
real
tuned
quick,
for that.
Josh,
Yes.
prediction on what his signet will be.
Oh. Ooh. I'm glad you went first.
Well, it was already the mud horn, and then it got taken away.
But he by his own admission,
It'll be Floaty Yodi.
you think so?
Yep.
I mean, I've seen
No,
that.
I'm going Floaty Yodi.
I've seen it thrown out there.
Boom.
Staying with
Floaty Yodi.
Okay.
I've seen it thrown out there.
It's the big ears symbol.
Oh, okay.
Floaty Yodi. Or whatever species that is. Oh, I got you. Yeah,
I have no
got
idea.
you. Yeah,
no, that's a good. I hadn't thought of that, but that's good. I think it's going to depend. I think it's supposed to be loosely based off an animal. So I don't know. I don't know where it goes. Maybe he'll end up flying. He'll get him one of those. End up flying. It'll be a bird. I don't know.
Good.
like,
I'll take it.
like Avatar.
I don't
There
know.
you go. Take an avatar bird.
I don't know because I feel like they're going after the animal.
Floaty Yodi.
All right. So the signet is supposed to, from what we gather, is supposed to be a creature that you overcome, and it's kind of a, the Mudhorn would have been, but he did not overcome it. He needed help. So because he's unique, mostly because the story features him, I think because he's going to end up battling remnants of the Empire, his signet is going to be an Imperial symbol. What do you think about that?
I don't like it.
And I don't know if I like it or not, but I can't say I don't.
No, I'm done with it. I'm already done.
I feel like
He was already called a coward because the Beskar was marked with the Imperial symbol.
I don't know. I don't hate it.
Now, I will say this,
don't know.
It's different though. The Beskar
Or green lighting.
was stolen because it was taken. It was taken in the purge. And so, yeah, that symbol in that way is embarrassing. It's a mark of shame.
and we know we've broken the order at this point.
Absolutely. But if he battles and overcomes what was an enemy that destroyed them, then that is something that you can wear with pride because it's bigger. It's bigger than the Mandalorians. It's something that was
He's got a good sell.
You've got a good sell.
It was
but I'm
an
still going
opposition
to
of
say to you,
all
unlike
Mandalorians.
unlike you said to anyone,
So he's going
Trevor
to
or I,
defeat Yoda.
no,
Okay.
He's going to
no,
defeat
you're
Yoda.
100% wrong.
Okay.
You're right about Death Star babies. You're wrong about Empire symbol. Sorry.
I'm in the middle.
Sorry.
Okay, we ready for trivia?
Yeah, that's
something
all
else?
I got on Mando for now.
Okay. Trivia?
And that wasn't even
Yeah, barely.
scraping the surface. there,
Barely.
but
We didn't
we're
get
good.
we didn't
Okay,
get too deep.
one, rock, paper, scissors. Who goes
That
first?
was
Ready?
that was a small
Ready?
scar on his Beskar armor.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
All right.
Go. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Both scissors,
God.
both
They're
paper.
the same people.
Go, okay, so
Josh
okay,
goes
Andy
first.
goes. Oh, Josh goes first. Oh shoot, I might be getting called to work. All right.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Here is the question. First card for Josh. Okay.
Star Wars
Speed
Trivial
round.
Pursuit.
Speed round. Okay.
Speed
Who
round.
told Luke he had to unlearn what he had learned?
Yoda.
Yoda. Correct. What did the Imperials deliberately deactivate on the Falcon in Cloud City?
Hyperdrive.
Nailed it. What duo did Luke Skywalker describe as hardworking?
3PO and R2.
Jeez, good job. What city was Luke stuck in when he found himself in a sleazy used speeder lot?
What?
What city was Luke stuck in when he found himself in a sleazy used speeder lot?
Well, it has to be Tatooine.
Nope. Most Eisley.
Oh, damn. What?
Tatooine's speed round. Planet. Speed round. You got it wrong.
Right, go.
Okay. What desert species has glowing yellow eyes?
Jawa.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Who thought 10,000 credits would be nearly enough to buy his very own starship?
Luke,
you got it.
All right, that's 5 out of 6.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, Andy, you ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go.
Ready.
Speed round.
I was born ready.
Who called Jabba a slimy piece of worm-ridden filth?
Han Solo.
Nailed it. What color was the blade of Luke's second lightsaber?
Green.
What 4-word ultimatum did Luke give Jabba while standing on the sand skiff gangplank?
Release us or die.
Ooh. Free us or die.
Oh, shit.
Is that wrong? Okay.
All right.
What planet is home for Sarlacc monster?
Sarlacc monster?
For the Sarlacc.
Mos Eisley.
Tatooine.
Tatooine, you got it.
Damn it.
How long does it take the Sarlacc to digest its victims?
Over 1,000 years.
Over 1,000 years. What Western state was Return of the Jedi Sarlacc battle filmed in?
What Western state?
Yeah, where did they film it?
That would be in New Mexico.
Arizona.
Shoot.
He lost. He lost with
Josh
that question.
wins. Josh wins.
Wait,
Good speed
how
round.
did we not tie?
Speed round.
Because you
lost 2 and
you
he
lost
got
release us or die. It's free us or die.
free us or die. One word.
I was going to give you that one. And then I'm like, shit, no. We're in a competition.
One word, lost it all.
One
for you.
word, man.
And guess what you lost? Absolutely nothing.
Except your pride.
Except your pride.
I'm going to open
Dignity.
the next Holochronicles with hey, this is Josh, your trivia champion.
Number 1.
On episode 30 of the Holochronicles, your trivia champion.
From galaxies far, far away, I win.
That is good. Because we went 1-1 with Wookiee Radio on
Star Wars Feud.
Star Wars Family Feud.
Smugglers Feud.
Nice.
Smugglers Feud.
Yeah.
All right. Good work.
Thanks for joining us, Trev.
Hey,
thanks for coming back, bro.
Thanks for having me. It was
Welcome
fun.
back.
Thank you, guys.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Holochronicles and interact with us. Let us know what you get on your next mail day. And we'll update from time to time what we're getting for mail days because it's fun seeing what everyone's into. It's fun sharing our passions. So that's what we're passionate about. And I know a bunch of you guys are too. It's fun to see you guys. Until next time.
We're the Holochronicles.
See ya.
Shout out to the BMB.
BMB. Hit that mace music.
Mace lives, 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 lives. This party's over.
What you say, bass?
Take a seat, young Scott.
Oh, snap.
For your own good, stay out of this thing.
Oh, yeah, Mace. Mace talking big.
If what you've told me is true, you will have gained my trust.
Mace